What's up guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome if you're new here. I'm Don and today we're taking a look at a few Melodious Ryzeal combo lines. If you've seen my previous video before covering my regional top 8 deck list for Melodious Ryzeal, then these are some of the combo lines that I've used throughout the event. And if you haven't seen the video, then you can click the card at the top of your screen to watch it. Now without holding you any further, let's get into the video. Alright, so before we get into any of the combos, let's first go over the updated list. Seeing that SUDA is right around the corner, there are some changes to the deck. Not really the main deck though, because you can see we're running the same cards. But for the side deck, we took out the cherries and added like Lancia, Sanctum, and bumped up the number for the strike. The main difference is that we have Patbit now in the side. Seeing that now there isn't really that many synchro decks in the meta, we can justify having the Patbit in the side. Also, with the fact that the ultimate slayers are in the side, it doesn't even really matter if we had the Patbit in the main extra deck, because if we were going up against a synchro matchup, we would still have to side these ultimate slayers into the deck. So having the Patbit in the side is not really an issue. And the reason why the Patbit is in the side is because we're making space for the Twins of the Eclipse. This really helps the deck a lot because it helps you to get back rank 4s or even help in the Otk combo line pretty much. So that's really it for the updated list. Now let's actually get into the video. Alright, so the first combo line that we'll go through will be our Shifter loot combo. So with that, we're going to activate Shifter in our opponent's turn, because that's really when you'll be siding in Shifter against the deck that's weak against Shifter. For this line, let's say you sided in Shifter. So the cards that you need for this would be like anything that can get you to your detonator pretty much. So let's say you shift your opponent and they pass turn. For your turn, you're just going to normal summon the ice. Then you're going to use special summon the X. It's pretty obvious why I use special summon the X, because these are the two cards that can't really do anything much under Shifter without normal summoning them. So use the X to add yourself a sword. Now you're going to summon the sword. Sword is going to add you another X. So now you're going to go into a 3 material detonator. On summon, it's going to target the Shifter to attach. So now your grave is free and you have 4 materials underneath your detonator. You didn't have to do it that way, because if you had like another card in your hand, then you possibly could have like summoned the sword and add something and then, you know, use our other card, or even save the sword in your hand. Right here, what we're going to do is activate Small World. We're going to reveal the X. And then in our deck, we're going to match the X to our Veiler, which is light into light. And then we're going to go Veiler into Shifter, which is Spellcaster into Spellcaster. That's their only similarity. We're going to banish the Veiler face down, banish the X face down, and the Small World will be banished because you're under Shifter. So now you have Detonator, you can just attack. Whether they have a monster set or anything, you're just going to clear the board. So now, let's say you end your turn, it's going to be your opponent's draw phase again. Then you activate another Shifter, because the Shifter is up at the end of your turn. So this will be their 3rd turn of Shifter pretty much, and then it'll last until your turn. And if they didn't have a monster per se, when you summon your detonator, then they'll already be down 3000 and you just need something to like go over there and clear the board. And let's say you have like another Ryzeal in hand or something, you can just go full ham on them, get yourself like a dual drive, and dual drive just adds your field spell and something, and you can just go over there and it's pretty much ODK from there on out. So that'll be it for this combo line. Alright, so if you made it this far into the video, you can just leave a like. If you want to see more videos from us, you can check out the channel. Also, if you want to see more videos from us in the future, you can subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification. Thank you, appreciate it, and let's get back into the video. Alright, so the last combo line for the video would be our OTK line. It came up a lot. So what we have here, we have our Ostinato. It doesn't have to be Ostinato. You just want to go into a rank 4 and be able to make another rank 4. So the standard line, we're going to send Couplet and Refrain. Summon Baka. Baka is going to summon the Soprano from the deck. The Soprano is going to target the Couplet in the grave on summon. To add the Couplet to the hand. Couplet is going to trigger whenever it's added to the hand. We can special summon a Melodious monster from our hand or graveyard, level 4 or lower. do special summon or refrain. Refrain is going to trigger on summon, adding us a melodious monster other than itself. Maybe add in our cannon. Activate the couplet. Couplet will add concerto. Then we fuse with the soprano into our ritual. Back a chain link 1, targeting the soprano in the grave to special summon, and refrain chain link 2 to scale itself. Now we use concerto to fuse into another baka. We could rescale the couplet, but it's not really necessary here because whenever a Melodious Ryzeal monster is special summon, we can get it back. So if they manage to remove any of these two, we can get back both scales pretty much. Alright. Now we're going to use special summon our cannon. We're going to use our H-Wall and Baka to remove those bodies off the field. If our opponent had any face-up cards in the field, we can effectively remove those cards. Now we're going to dual drive. Dual drive's effect. We're going to add ice, and we're going to add plasma hole. Alright, so the reason for plasma hole will be apparent soon. So we're gonna go normal summon ice effect. Go to special summon sword. So if you're playing like Fiendsmith, you'll go for X, but if you're playing like something like this, then you can just go for the sword first to add the X. So we're gonna send the aggregator, summon the X. X is going to add the node. We're not worried about nib here. If they were to nib, they would have nibbed like already. So we're going to turn those two into a Dagaris. Then we're going to send the plasma hole to summon our Ray Lancer. Also, something to note, this guy always downs your opponent's monsters by 500. And if they were to nib us right here, we could go plasma hole, banish itself, and then turn these two into twins. And then twins would just reborn the Ray Lancer, and then we'll have like this guy here to send anything else to reborn something else, and then we'll still have like 2 rank 4s. So we're gonna go to Garrus. We're gonna double the attack of the Ray Lancer. So let's say we remove like 2 monsters with the 12 and they still have 1 monster, and that's most likely the monster that we'll want them to have left. Or if they only had 1 monster, then we'll just banish it all and just remove something else that's face up, like a spell or trap or something, or like we just want them to remove so we can activate the Ryzeal's effect. So we're gonna enter battle. We're gonna attack with the Ray Lancer first because it gets another attack if it destroys a monster by battle. So we're going to detach or dual drive. Then we're going to attack again for 5k. Then we're going to attack for 12. And let's say we have another monster, we can attack for that as well. But if we didn't have another monster, what I'm going to do here is use the trap, banish the trap, and then we're going to turn the, if we didn't have like another monster, we can turn the Ray Lancer and the Dagaris into twins of the Eclipse, and then twins would attack. And that's pretty much game. So let's say that like they had like 2 monsters or so, you could always attack with 2 of your level 4s, banish the trap, go into twins, you know, and then twins can attack, and then afterwards you go like Ray Lancer, attack like their last monster or something, and detach and attack again. But that's pretty much it. Like once the Garrus boosts this guy is like 5k and it's downing everyone by 500, then it's pretty much it. It also has an effect where at the start of the battle phase you can detach a material from him to negate all attack position monsters that your opponents control. But if you do that while it only has like 1 material because you made it with a dual drive, then it can't make a second attack pretty much. So you'd only do that if you have something like twins already on the field that uses the effect to attack monsters twice, where you can just clean up afterwards with this guy. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the Otk combo line. The reason why I added like the node is in case anything happens, or let's say like you didn't get to OTK, like say you go into a main phase 2 and you can always summon the node, and seeing that you have a lot of Ryzeals in the grave, you can always send something. Like for example, you can send like a Twins of the Eclipse right here to reborn one of your Ryzeal monsters, and seeing that you send the Twins of Eclipse, it's going to trigger targeting the Dagaris and your dual drive, and it's going to special summon the dual drive attaching to the Dagaris. And seeing that you haven't used the dual drive's effect that turn to attach a Ryzeal from the grave, you can essentially attach another Ryzeal monster from your grave to the dual drive. Then the dual drive would be 2 mat right there. You'd be able to make like detonator, and you have like a dual drive with your Ray Lancer that is, as I said, is downing all your opponent's monsters by 500. But the chance of them surviving the OTK is pretty slim. They'll have to have something like a Solemn Judgment, and that's if they don't already use those cards to address something like your Melodious package. And that's also like a key feature of the Melodious package, the fact that they just eat up hand traps. They're pretty much giving your Ryzeal's way to play the game. And let's say like they stop you on a Baka. If they stop you on a Baka, that's fine. You can always like send the Baka with something like a ice or like a node, and then it's going to trigger to like special summon back Refrain, and then Refrain is going to add you something like a cannon from the deck, and that's like a free rank 4. And then as you know, from there you can always go into like Door Drive or even something like a Rafflesia to protect yourself from Nib. That's pretty much the play that I usually do. I go into like a Rafflesia to always insulate myself from Nib, and then I just play safe from there, because Rafflesia does two things. It stops hand traps. It serves as plasma hole on the field pretty much, because it sends it from the deck to activate, and it cannot be negated by Imperm because it's unaffected by trap cards while it has a material. So that's also another thing. Alright, so that'll be it for the video today, guys. See you guys next time.